first time we played FlyQuest 2, it was pretty damn easy.
The moon is still going to be taken down. Now the taunts come out. High's trying to escape. Turtle will not. But this is a resounding Echo Fox victory.
Obviously, we have to win versus Liquid.
CLG's really scary. They play with nothing to lose. They like play super aggressive. They're always playing really aggressive as 5, and they don't leave one person behind.
Their macro game around Afro move, he just takes over games.
We can walk up now. You arrow? Go.
I think Immortals are pretty good, but it's hard to see who exactly is the best team right now. Even in our loss to them, I felt like it wasn't that convincing.
And it looks like Immortals is going to be able to walk out of this. No, gets back charmed on the rappel down. Flame now tries to go in the fight, one after the other.
I actually don't think Immortals is even that strong. Like, I feel like they're just like a normal team.
Hello, League fans, and welcome to another day of North American League action. It's the final day before our chosen teams ship out to Rift Rivals, and everybody wants to end Week 5 on a high note. As the fans have filed in, FlyQuest makes their way into the arena as well. They're going up against Echo Fox today. Both teams looking for wins as they want to move up those standings. Special, packed and ready to go for Europe, as well as Zig and Flame exchange a little bit of a handshake in the hall before they go up against each other. Hello, everyone. I'm James Dash Patterson. My analysts today put on their pants just like anybody else, 2 legs at a time. Welcome, Mark Zimmerman and Joshua Jat-Leesman. How are we doing today?
Well, we drew straws to see who would take all the caster clothes to Rift Rivals today, and I drew the wrong one.
Uh-oh.
So I'm not doing well.
So
I feel like it's special. He had like all the suitcases for the Phoenix one.
Does that mean you need to pack everyone's, or you just kind of bring them?
Already packed, but
Okay.
I just have to take
It's
like,
not that bad
a
then.
bunch
Come
of
on.
bags.
Well, he's responsible for all the clothes, though, then, too. So if they don't
I'm
make
also
it to Europe,
spoiled, so this is
it's
what everyone else has to
Jat's
do.
fault. All right, well, as we get into the day, let's take a look at the rankings. CLG and Immortals are once again tied for first, but Team Dignitas, they've dropped to 5th place at 5 and 4, while teams like Phoenix 1, FlyQuest, and Team Liquid look to fight out of the bottom at 2 and 7. Now, nothing's impossible for those teams tied for 8, so we'll see if they can change their fate with our matches today. First up, Phoenix 1 have the tough task of facing Immortals on NALCS 1, followed by Team Envy going against Team Dignitas in the Battle Arena. Over on NALCS 2, FlyQuest hope to pick up their first 2-0 week against Echo Fox in the Battle Theater, with Team Liquid aiming to upset Counterlogic Gaming later in the day. Now, as we wrap up Week 5, it's hard to say which is our best team, but it's very clear that we have a top 4. So let's identify some of the strengths and what it is that these teams do better than the rest to make that top echelon.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of it has to do with team play. And the most unique team play I feel like comes out of CLG, who I want to talk about here, because more so than other teams, everyone is committed to almost every play. I feel like CLG also run more plays than other teams, so there's so much you have to constantly respond to. It's on fullest effect when you do see Aurelion Sol because he goes everywhere, but they do similar things with so many other champions, and it's about how the team always seems to have the whole team in so many different places at once.
Sometimes we even talk about them being too much of a team, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes to a fault with Darshan on split pushers, grouping up a bit too often. But yes, very clear that they're gelling well as a team so far this split.
Yeah, they just have like you said, a plethora of moves that they can pull out anytime. They have that unique level 1 against C9. It feels like they're always preparing things. And then C9 on the flip side, for me, is kind of the opposite team, where they are clearly all individually extremely strong, and they are one of the top 4 teams without a doubt, but they do feel like they're a little bit on the back foot compared to some of these other teams, where it's like the Jensen show, and then who else can join him? And that's enough to beat a lot of teams in this league, but when you stack up against the other 4 teams, they need someone else to step up. So you saw on that Tristana game that C9 was able to actually beat TSM. That was one of the big things, was that he had some support coming out of other positions. Contracts had a good series. He's starting to look better. And with Ray coming back in for Impact, that's starting to look up, but they need to find some consistency here.
Exactly. On the proactive to reactive spectrum, C9 is definitely more on the reactive side of that. I think when they're at their best, it's Smoothie, Ray, and Contracts making plays that Jensen can follow up on, but too often it's just Jensen and the rest of them.
All right, so these 4 teams are doing well. Let's talk about the other 6 that are looking to make their move into that top echelon of teams, and which ones might be closest to making or breaking that. What are you guys looking at?
I personally kind of like Envy. I thought they showed a lot at the start of the split, where they were beginning to figure things out with Pyrian. Not the best champion pool, but he had this kind of playmaking style where he followed Lyra around. And then when they switched to Niski, it's a very different look. They're playing Cassiopeia, trying to actually carry from the mid lane. And then they went back to Pyrian at the start of this week again, and now it feels like they kind of lost their identity through all this roster swapping where they're not sure if they want to play a more team-centric game or they're trying to let the lanes get ahead naturally through picking scaling champions. And then there's always that question mark a little bit with Sarah from the top side, who's been a very large X factor for the team, where sometimes he looks great and he's the reason they win, and then sometimes he's a big uh-oh in the top lane.
I agree, and the champion pools are a big issue for Envy as well. But for all these teams that are trying to make it in the top 4, I like to see who has the most identifiable strengths that they can hopefully turn into victory. And I still feel like that's Echo Fox in this group. We see Froggen in the mid lane consistently dominating people. Looper can dominate people, it just doesn't happen very often. And yesterday I did see some glimpses of this against Team Liquid, where they had very clear strengths, and then they built around that with double supports, one out of the jungle, one out of the actual support position, doing multiple Knight's Vows. And if they can do more of that, where they have these actually very low kill games, but not games where they're forcing themselves into compositions that have to make plays, I think they can find more victories.
I mean, it seems like they still lack some strategic diversity, but kind of what you're talking to is that, look, they have found one win condition, and at least if they can practice that one and get it to a place where they feel very comfortable, resting on that, cool. They have something they can always go back to while they build more strategic diversity.
Yeah, I mean, they like we saw yesterday, they have double AD carry scaling that has strong laning early on, and then once you get ahead, the enemy team is forced to make plays on you, and Team Liquid wasn't the team to do that, but it does feel a little bit short-sighted in the sense where when you start going up against better teams, you might not get that lead in the early game. And then if you do, they're not as afraid to pull the trigger.
There's only one Corki type champion in the mid lane that they can do that strategy with, so pretty easy to change.
You can maybe do Lucian.
I was going to say 2 ADCs, though. You got Lucian as well. Well, we're halfway through the split, so these teams do need to start picking up those victories if they want to look at the playoff picture as an option. Now, as TSM, Cloud9, and Phoenix One ship off to Europe, make sure to send your support and your answers to our question of the day, which is, what matchup are you most looking forward to seeing at Rift Rivals and why? Whether it's a team versus a team, player versus a player, or even an NA caster versus an EU caster. Tweet to @LOL Esports with the hashtag NALCS so that Zyrene, Azael, and I can go over some of your responses on NALCS tonight after the show. Time for us now, though, to hand it off to the casters to kick off the day. Enjoy the games.
Thank you very much, Dash. Hello, everybody. I'm Rivian DeBiz III, and the person alongside me is considered the freeform jazz of casting. Sam, Kobe, Hartman, Kensler.
Oh, that's unlucky. I don't really like jazz. My brother was in a jazz band when we were growing up, and my mom just loved it, so they played it all the time, and I grew up not
I'm sorry. It still just emits from you. You're so suave. We're getting ready for our first series as FlyQuest takes on Echo Fox here in Week 5. FlyQuest coming to this match after a much-needed win yesterday as well.
Oh, yeah. You could tell that win really did wonders for the morale of FlyQuest. Literally every single one of the players was tweeting out how good it feels to win again, and all of those guys have had success in the past, but it's been a while here, and they've definitely been in a rough patch. They are, as Turtle said in his interview afterwards, kind of on this road back to their form, but as he said, he's still working at getting back to being that top AD carry, one of the top AD carries in North America, and they still have a lot of work ahead of them. This is definitely an important match on that road.
Right, and with Think Card in mid now. No, I'm just kidding. It's out. So we will see if the team can continue improving against Echo Fox here, who themselves had a very methodical win last night.
Yeah, Echo Fox also coming off a pretty big victory. They touched on it a little bit on the analyst desk as, Froggen playing a lot of that Corki. And it is very difficult if FlyQuest are going to try their mid and jungle synergy snowball off mid lane thing to do against Froggen. Because as Froggen said in his little video before this as well, the last time these two teams met, it was a pretty decisive Echo Fox victory. And that's when he was playing stuff like the Lucian and these AD carries for dominating the mid lane. And with Corki now added to the arsenal, he has quite a few options. Now, the one we are going to look at, that guy that was just on your screen there, Looper, he's been way less consistent than Froggen. Some ups, some downs. Last series he definitely had some successful games, but the Shen was definitely not, coordinated too well with the team. So they're still working on these coordination issues with him, it seems like.
And you're just talking about Froggen being very outspoken in this match, despite Echo Fox's struggles. And hear those words, Froggen being very confident going into this match.
First time we played FlyQuest 2, it was pretty damn easy. We played both of those teams the same week 1, I believe, and I don't know, it felt nice to play against them, so I don't know how it will feel this time. They will be more used to the patch, they have more practice, and it will be much harder. And again, we're in a slump, so we just need to use those 2 matches as we need to get back up there.
find a way out. Looked like it was happening yesterday. If they can keep that momentum going, we'll check out the starting lineups and see if it works. On the blue side, it is going to be FlyQuest. That means it is Balls coming out of the top lane. Moon in the jungle. High at mid. Wild Turtle with that smile at AD carry, and Lemon Nation at support with Coach Thinkcard.
And on the red side, it is Echo Fox. Up top is Looper. In the jungle, Acadian. Mid, Froggen. Bottom, Keith. Support, Gate. And Coach Inero on stage with them.
Seeing some pretty fun play between these guys yesterday. Froggen being spit into the fountain, enjoying their victories as they come.
Yep.
Maybe taking a little bit more on this side.
Pool party, Everybody getting a dip there at the end. Yeah, honestly though, yeah, both the series for both these teams, even though they were victories, did go the full stretch. So they are pushing it a little bit there to the brink, and this is kind of like you said, important for both of them as they're both kind of in slumps. Echo Fox definitely in a better position, but it just kind of puts more pressure on Echo Fox since they're on basically the line of playoffs where 6th place team, you really want to work to get some more space between you and those bottom teams to, kind of secure your spot moving forward as we near the end of the summer split.
And this being one of those games you expect to be able to pick up as well, with FlyQuest being at the bottom of the table right now to start things off. Here we are, Lucian ban to start. We thought that would come out.
Yeah,
get the focus, but it's a mid and bot focus.
That was definitely one of the champions that Echo Fox utilized very effectively against FlyQuest in their last meeting. Corky now an AP option as well for Froggen, who has been able to bully quite well. High really likes that champion as well, though. So I feel like there's a lot of contested picks in this matchup, not only in the mid lane, with that Corky, but also the bottom lane. Lemonation and Gate both playing pretty much just melee champions of Braum and Tom Kench recently, so support pool even comes into the mix here. A lot of bans targeted at the mid lane here, though. FlyQuest again also taking out the Kassadin from Froggen as well.
So much mid lane.
Oh, Zach gets through.
Carry potential focus, and you're right, he does get through. Instantly locked in here by Moon, and he's in the game.
Yeah, Zach extremely powerful, as everybody well knows. Tons of crowd control in the kit, and you don't give away anything if you're drafting it early. He's just a very good initiation tool from the jungle. He gets even stronger as well on the next patch, 7.13, that is live. Not quite there yet with the improvements of Bambi Cinder, but he doesn't even need those improvements. Instant answer here from Acadian, though. Definitely in love with that Rek'Sai, and we did see him go the Cinderhulk route, even though we aren't still on that patch 7.13 where the buffs came through. He was still going the more tanky route for Rek'Sai and playing that front line for the team.
Getting himself ready. As it comes through, he'll be prepared. That Corky gets locked in for High as it finds its way through. A lot more bans have been coming through for Corky, as he's also one of the most picked now.
Yep, that was the contested pick we were talking about for mid lane, and I'm surprised a little bit that there's no Braum lock-in for FlyQuest here before the second round of bans, because it might get banned out from Echo Fox in the next round. I would have kind of expect that, as Tom Kench priority is. We also talked about Lemonation and Gate, both really preferring that tank role there in the bottom lane. Maybe with Zach on FlyQuest side, though, they won't feel the need, and Lemon can go back to ranged harassment.
Things are all over the place on what they can pinch coming into the second ban phase here. Support, jungle top, jungle mid, and bot. So we'll see it already top lane getting hit here for balls. The Rumble being taken out. We would expect that to happen. And Froggen may feel a few more hits here on the second phase.
It's kind of what I'm feeling. A little bit more focus here from FlyQuest onto the mid lane. Yeah, since they have already secured that Corky for High and just want to whittle down kind of the star player here for Echo Fox. Looks like it is still going to be the case. Solo lane focus. Gnar really gaining popularity recently as well. One of the ones that can actually deal with Renekton, even though Renekton has such a powerful lane phase. Gnar able to use the mini form for harassment.
Tom Kench as well is a good pickup as they leave the bot lane mostly open for Lemon. He had at least 4 or 5 games coming into this week on Tom Kench straight, so we might see him just going back to the Braum.
Yep.
Orianna is the ban towards Froggen for the last time.
All right, FlyQuest got off 4 mid lane bans in addition to the LeBlanc ban that Echo Fox had to drop since they're on red side. So definitely squishing down on this mid lane champion pool here for Froggen. Looks like
they have that still has a Talia up if they want to make waves across the map. The Ari.
Always a pretty good one. And especially another thing that goes in your mind when you're choosing a mid lane champion here is that you're now playing against Zac. And one of the biggest things about letting Zac through, not only is the kit very strong right now, but extremely good at ganking that mid lane, even just 2 levels into your elastic slingshot, and you can pretty much hit any area in the mid lane from either of the side lane brush. So it does add an extra mind game level to that mid lane matchup.
And we'll see that Braum locked in for Lemon. What will happen on the side of Froggen's pick? We haven't seen that TF in a while. This is actually, I believe, Balls' first Kled that he'll bring to the top lane. So we'll see how he gets to use that for himself.
Right.
Malzahar lock in for Froggen in the mid lane.
So he does have the added benefit of his passive shield for the Zac ganks. Only problem now is that new Zac has a lot of extra crowd control. So if they're able to just tack off that shield, Malzahar gonna have to rely on summoner spells. Ghost is definitely a good one though. So Froggen is taking double mobility summoners. Plus he's got the spell shield from Malzahar passive. So trying to stack up those defenses just in case Moon does gravitate towards that mid lane, as we kind of frequently have seen.
So looking at what we have now, we finally have Zac through a few times that he has been through. How does he match up against the new Rek'Sai here? Because you can kind of heal up and be a beast early, but you're not really killing anybody right now.
And that's the thing. Even though Zac right now is very strong and has a lot of crowd control in the kit, he never is the super early ganking jungler. Never is the super early pressure here. So right off the bat, Rek'Sai, level 3, can instantly go to lanes and have an impact, whereas Zac is usually going to look to farm a bit more to get some more range on the elastic slingshot. So that can be the difference. That can be a window here for Echo Fox, especially with the Renekton up in the top side. Going to feel pretty good there.
Hashtag FlyWin, hashtag FoxWin as we make our way onto the Rift in our final games. I should say final day of week 5. Lots of games to go as we're just starting off the day. Onto the Rift here. We said Balls on that Kled for the first time here in the summer split. We'll see how he fares on that. Kai back on the Corki, gonna have the comfortable mid lane. We'll see where Moon puts his presence to start things off.
And we have, speaking of Balls, we have seen, some decent improvements in him and, quite a few of the games. Doing very well for himself. Not really the most vocal member of the team, but kind of quietly doing better in lane and earning more advantages for himself as well as the team. See if he can keep it up here, because this is, a bit of a difficult one.
Shield start for both Looper and Balls. Swords, it looks like.
30 seconds until
I was going to say Doran's Blade for Froggen, but I looked at it back. He has a ring, Hai has the sword. Everything equals out. Be like, this is interesting.
Avoid swords for
for
him. Early on too, the thing to watch with that Malzahar is the CSing, because early on Malzahar, the bounces are not really doing that much damage, so he does have to rely a lot on auto attacks. And I think early on, Corki, trying to shove in and gain that lane pressure might be able to cause Froggen to miss a few CS, but Froggen is really known for landing those last hits, even with the more difficult auto attacks and the more difficult spell usages. So, and one of those champions where sometimes we do see people drop a few more early game, and we can keep our eye on Froggen, see if the Master will be able to keep up his classic perfect CS.
They have to see, because watching somebody like Cass or watching a Malzahar and the pros do it, it's like all the minions die in their favor while you watch them just kind of wash away as you try to do it. You're like, oh, Malefic Visions will get that. Oh, never mind, I missed 4 CS.
It's funny too, because even at international events, I remember at MSI and at last year's Worlds actually, when Malzahar was seeing playtime, and I was talking to some of the mid laners, I was like, oh man, you got kind of body there in CS early game, and he was like, yeah, it's just so difficult on Malzahar. Even on the mid laners that were making it to Worlds, some of them had a difficult time. But no more excuses, please.
Ooh, very nice. See it. Fight there. Cadian squeaking down low as he heals up, tunneling into the ground, and it looks like he will be able to finish off on Krug for the smite.
Yeah, it might be a little touch and go, because he did not actually get a pull on the Raptors. We were talking about Malzahar there. Froggen in lane wanted to get the shove early, plus Malzahar isn't the best at lending that shove because Froggen did want to start with the E, I believe. And Acadian probably is going to be forced into just a red quadrant clear and backing rather than that fearsome level 3 early game from Rek'Sai, possible ganks that we were talking about. So yeah, no pull means no gank. And he'll just end up down there on the bottom side. So that's good news there for Moon. Isn't going to get super outpaced early on the Zac, and he can just continue to farm up and try to scale. This guy definitely has very good scaling.
See if Acadian makes a move here. Finishing that Krug, I think he called for key. Hawk shot went right over Moon as he was on the top side. So they have a bit of information. Makes both junglers, however, just feel comfortable, like you said, to keep going back to that farm.
Ooh, and look at this. Acadian with his first buy signals he is going with the Warrior Enchantment Rek'Sai this time around. I was a little bit curious because we talked about, the differences between this patch and the live patch where 7.13 and Cinderhulk is much better, but we were already seeing him and Reignover going for the Cinderhulk Rek'Sai. He's decided enough of that. We'll wait till next patch for that one, and he definitely has that combat power now with even just starting out long swords and building into that warrior. You can have definitely a very aggressive start. Currently though, top and bottom pushing in for Echo Fox, so there is a lot of room for Acadian to work with. Not too many wards on the map this early in the game, and the options are definitely wide open. Yep. Meanwhile, Moon gets his first back off on Zac.
Raptors coming up for Acadian as he heads towards his top side. He should only have to wait a few seconds on those.
Yep. That 420 mark is when they usually respawn, depending on how many pull spells you were able to get, but he didn't get a pull, so it's delayed till about 4:30. High, continually pushing in this Malzahar, and as we talked about, rarely do you see Froggen at CS deficit, but in a Corki Malzahar matchup, talked about how difficult it is, and we are seeing it here.
Moon did have that ping down at the 4:30 mark as well. Safe enough to get a ward in as High had the mid lane pushed up. We'll see how many you can actually pick up with this turret. Malefic Vision, such a weird spell, missed one there. And you can just see, because it's now going to bounce to the minion wave, you want it to stay completely fresh.
Yeah, and it's you can see right there the frustration.
Yeah.
It'll help you get one CS, but then it'll mess up the one next to it. Here we go, though. Ball is actually under attack.
Dismount. Acadian tries to get the flash forward as he tunnels into a beautiful position and gets the last bite down. First blood to top side.
There it is, the Rek'Sai Toll. Zac trying to farm still the second respawns here for his blue quadrant of the jungle. With Acadian at early level 5. Power gank there on the top side, and they're able to get not only the first blood, but also the flash. Now High under attack.
On the exhaust.
Tongue.
Got him. Flash is still there. Can put himself towards the blue buff and gets over the wall. This is actually him going down possibly. Flash is back. Gonna have a meat wall of Moon. Froggen gets the exhaust there, but it's only a few more autos. They're gonna be able to get Moon off of this one, possibly with the passive, but Lemon Nation also with the long roam up, and here come the top laners. It is going to be a party here on FlyQuest jungle.
Power up again!
Nate, the rest of the team trying to leave as Looper stuns up the backline. Him and Acadian now bringing a lot of crowd control, and FlyQuest need to depart from this situation. Fox gain control.
I think it was a pretty late flash from High. Wanted to dodge at least the slows so that you never get caught into that, but because he was holding onto it so long, it made me feel like FlyQuest were making the call to turn this around eventually. But they were so outnumbered because of the big health advantage they got onto High early on, and Gate devours another one. Big chunk out of Lemon Nation, showing him who's boss and trying to help push in this wave, but High is right back out on the field, so that will be a little bit difficult. Acadian looking to penalize again.
Got a lot of flashes down across the map on that one, so of course Acadian will want to just continue to get under their feet. Pop them up. Looper now having his way 51 to 39 on that top side as they finally pressure High once again.
Yeah, a lot of visitation here in the mid lane. No surprise, as we said, Echo Fox kind of work around that mid lane.
And see if
as do FlyQuest.
See if they find a chance to back 1,600 gold sitting on multiple members of Fox right now. It seems like they're going to give each other a little bit of breathing room. Gate's going to spend his. He has 1,300, and the rest of the team have a little bit of power to put in their pockets, but are comfortable farming out the lanes and not giving up what.
There's another one coming behind High. The mid lane camp is real.
I thought he was backing. Oh, now he wants to back.
All right, now they get the flash out of gate. I feel like all right, it's a long time ago, but in that last engage, if they had flashed a bit earlier, Gate might have had to use his flash. This time around, Froggen.
Oh! Nether Grasp goes down. Froggen kind of solidifies his own death there, but hopes that he can actually be eaten by Gate in the end, and they pull a quick switcheroo.
Yeah.
That's not happen.
High's had enough of everybody coming mid lane, and they pull out the big guns. Turtle hits level 6 and is able to start that one off with the Jhin, having more influence from the bottom side. And this is a guy that we talked about a little bit in the intro. And it was a guy who was really looked to kind of spur FlyQuest onto greater heights. It has taken him definitely a while to meld with the team, but yesterday he had a really good performance and definitely making his influence felt here from the bottom lane pretty early on. Moon forces the flash, as we said, and then Froggen, no vision here, does not expect the bottom lane roam, I guess. Oh, actually, they just passed by a ward in that river, as you can see on the mini-map, so he saw them head up, but did not expect the ult coming out. FlyQuest were able to secure that one, plus able to push that mid-lane minion into the turrets, and now the package is ready, Riv.
Really?
Who ordered it?
We're going to find out soon. Froggen might find it first. You will be able to see the packing slip. Coming up on just around 10 minutes here. No turrets yet for anybody, but that package I feel like is going to go down towards the bottom. Vision for FlyQuest. Somewhat set up, mostly just to protect High on his left and right, though.
Yeah. With everybody, ganking from all angles around mid lane, they're going to have to spend some extra money to make sure everybody's secure here. Moon's been able to slip into the side brush, though. Talked about that favorite place for Zach to start ganks from. Because his Elastic Slingshot at the moment, level 4. You can reach all the way to the other side even for any sort of counter ganks.
There we go. Bounce 1, lock 2, gonna yank him back real quick.
Oh!
And they do abduct him just back. Acadian's gonna get the damage though. Stops High down, beautifully done. Wild Turtle flashes into the fight at the right time. It's still gonna be Acadian finding his kill. Gate cannot help him from across the wall, so they trade 1 for 1.
Again, another bottom lane roam here from FlyQuest is able to get the counter kill. Froggen is able to walk his way out. Gate the bodyguard, keeping that one closed. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, because of these constant roams here from FlyQuest, Keith has been able to CS a little bit more to try and catch up to Turtle and push us 1 more into the turret.
Acadian saying, I need my items. I need my kills. And he is going in hard with this Rek'Sai. We'll see here the start off Moon, like you said. Favorite brush. This is good gank in.
Yep, and then Moon goes back to the minions. You want to pull him backwards into the mid lane. Then he flashes for the ultimate. They did not expect Acadian there, though. And Rek'Sai going warrior early is able to do enough damage pretty much by himself with the new ultimate there to be able to get that secured kill onto the mid laner. But again, Turtle and Lemon Nation again roaming up to the mid lane through that river and get another counter kill. Keeping it close.
A really big power point for FlyQuest this round. Not having that wave pushed in by what would just be kind of Ash volleys and whatnot. They left the lane, and we did see Keith at the turret, but he had to get up there at some point. So.
Yeah, Turtle and Lemon have been doing very well in lane. It's just we've had so much action elsewhere. We weren't didn't exactly have time to watch it, but they've been using their advantage to affect the mid lane, to roam up and help the team rather than just dominate in the bottom lane. I mean, you're fighting, keep them pushed up.
You're fighting fire with fire against Echo Fox, right? If their mid lane's gonna get everything, let's give mid lane everything on our side as well.
Meanwhile, the island, top lane. Balls has been able to recover pretty decently after that gank from Acadian. Secured first blood and blew his flash, so his CS was able to stabilize a little bit, even though he did lose that 1 wave due to that gank. A little bit of aerial support coming in with that hawk shot from Keith again, letting Acadian know that he can finish up the Gromp before leaving. Uh-oh.
Hello.
2v1!
It's the high C-Zac. It's popped out. Hate it when that happens.
Yeah, that feels really bad too because your passive is quite a long cooldown there, and now he's gonna have to wait like 5 minutes before he has that extra impact. Not only do you get surprise there for the kill, but reduces a lot of your mid-game power where you can go super deep with your initiations and rely on that passive in a team setting. If you're all by yourself, nobody protect your blobs, and then Fox easily clean them up.
Not my blobs. Looper having decent split for himself. An up and down split, I guess, would be the way to say it here. Once he's given a little bit, he's able to work with it. But how often does he get that little bit?
Exactly. It's pretty interesting because, well, everyone always is going to point to Froggen because Froggen is, you know, the dominating, kind of consistently winning lane here for Echo Fox. Looper in their wins, you know, has been doing really well, right? But he's also had some inconsistency, you know, some problems where a lot of times in their losses, it's him not getting really much any sort of pressure from the top side. This time around, though, he is on Renekton, and he's got that CS lead. That hasn't always translated into wins for him, because funnily enough, one of the champions that they have quite a few losses on is that Renekton, and we'll see if they can transition it into that mid game and into the objective game, because that has been kind of the main issue.
The lead just gets in his head. Slow down your lead, not too much. Should be able to work pretty strong here, pushing off balls for the majority of these engages, but also we haven't seen a big teleport play either because balls have been trying to repair the lane, and Looper is saying, I'm actually fine kind of controlling this entire thing. I'm excited to see what happens in the fight phase. A lot of fervor on the side of Fox, so the longer fights are going to favor them quite a bit.
And we still have Acadian, even though he went the Warrior this time and not into the Cinder Hulk, he's going with the Sightstone once again to get that extra vision for the team. And now that he has Rift Herald, it puts a lot more pressure on the next objective. The first turret bonus gold is definitely Echo Fox's to set up here. It's really easy to claim that with the pushing lane of Renekton plus the power of a Rift Herald, so we might see them try and pressure that. The other thing being said, though, is that Keith now very much with the power of a level 6 Ashe ultimate, you can start things off on the bottom side and look for some initiation there.
Multiple slows, crowd control, keep it going. Lane resets on the bottom. Good vision coming across. We'll see FlyQuest on what seems to be a roam.
Over a ward now, though, so Echo Fox know they're coming.
Keith gets hit.
Woo! Good flash.
Kate's going to take quite a bit of damage here. Does Keith get to the right spot? Nice shot coming in from Wild Turtle. Almost finds his mark. Teleport first plays now coming in. Looper and Frog in here. Lemonation flashes high. Just misses. Lemon's going to be the one to get the Ruthless Predator, and he goes down as Froggen's able to pick up that one kill, but Fly get themselves to safety, maybe to protect the turret.
Yeah, can they defend this turret long enough for balls in the top side to take the top turret because they're holding on to the teleport? High going for a counter kill.
Very close to going down. The double silence.
All right, Riftfield says that one is toast.
One easy shot. Looper goes in. Elastic hit. Ooh. They are way too close. Got to consider the flashes. Fox coming up big now as they go for a second tier, leaving balls on the top side. 8-second back or that teleport. Looks like they're just going to stay here and let Rift Herald do some damage and keep his pressure top.
Yeah, so Rift Herald does end up earning first turret gold in the end, but it's actually off of a FlyQuest initiation on the bottom side instead of Keith starting it with his ultimate. And it was really good escape there from Gate. He waits for the package to be used by High, devours Keith, and very quickly flashes himself under turret, so they survive and buy some time for the teleport to come in from Looper. Really big counterplay here and punish from Echo Fox. Take another look at how Gate's going to be able to use Tahm Kench, Devour to save Keith, and then his own flash to gain distance for both of them. It is FlyQuest walking over a couple wards here to start it off, and pretty good bait there from Echo Fox. Then Moon flashes in to try and go for the ultimate, but it goes wide, and then they're very deep in enemy territory. Here's where it got a little risky. The arrow does cut them off and kind of stalls them, so that buys some time for Looper to gain some distance. Flashes in, and they get that one kill. At this point, they were thinking kind of like we were, like, oh, maybe they can try and delay the minions and actually go for first turret, but they forgot about the Rift Herald, and Rift Herald is always going to make sure that team is able to get it first. Then they ended up giving that extra kill as Looper was able to find another stun onto High down the lane.
Stuns and stuns, and seems like High is paying that consideration very closely. Quicksilver Sash already as he is 0-3 and 2. That pressure is getting to him.
Yeah, quick service sash, definitely very good purchase versus not only the Malzahar, which he's going to try and lane against, but there have been multiple other stuns coming through with Ash Arrow and Renekton and all these different sources of CC, so he'll definitely get use out of that active. It does delay his Trinity Force spike, and he's down in gold because of all these kind of moves down to the bottom side.
Down about 1,000 to Froggen right now. The refillable potion friends. Look at that. Each one of them. A little bit more sustained for the fights if they even need it.
5 of them.
Yeah, 5
going on Echo Fox. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, indeed. Just about a 2,000 gold lead overall. As we said, about 1,000 of that is Froggen. 6,000 to 7,000 gold overall between those two. And here FlyQuest look to move in the vision. The more they can deny, the more Moon actually becomes more effective. Fox has to ward a bit differently due to his ranges. And it doesn't look like they're even going to give them a chance to get the vision. That's the suppression onto Moon. He's going to try to get out, but he gets the passive in, and High is over the wall. He used his flash recently. It's going to have to be Balls as well, bringing in the cavalry from the backside. Him and Skarl on the front line, giving it to Fox right now. And it's going to be the shots from Turtle just on the outside of the curtain. Exit stage right, and now the kill goes down onto Gate. They're going to find Acadian possibly as they pinch around the turret. Finding Keith may make them think twice, but FlyQuest win that one that they then get engaged on.
Yeah, and they wanted to punish that the teleport cooldowns were desynced here, so they knew that Looper could not join, but Looper is going to take a turret down on the bottom side anyway in payment for that invade and for those kills. So in the end, Looper, he kind of waits out the duration of his cooldown on his teleport, but also gains some gold back for the team. Anyways, one of the things I was watching here was that Lemon Nation is holding his Braum ultimate for a very long time. And as we said, they kind of wanted to bait this fight and get a nice AoE, but when he finally ends up using it here, he misses everyone. And it could have been such a cleaner kind of team fight here from FlyQuest. They do still end up getting a couple of these chase down kills, but it wasn't the dominating victory that they wanted here on the invade, as they really were looking at take an objective in addition to the kills that they were getting, and because they didn't get the kills as quickly, they weren't able to get the turret afterwards as well, and that's where the Looper kind of taking bottom turret does balance it for Echo Fox, and they remain in the gold lead. Otherwise, though, still definitely net benefit there as Echo Fox give up some kills in their own jungle to FlyQuest.
Knight's Vow here for Moon, making other people strong already. Seems like that Quicksilver Sash came into play a little bit for High. As we now head back towards the mid lane. Turrets are still up on both sides. Rift Herald was used by.
There they go.
The Moon is in. He's got a 3v1 situation. It started off and he says, Gate to the other side. Ali Oxen 3, you are going down. No safety for him, even if he calls it out. And now they're onto the mid turret. It looks like they have all the siege potential here, and Moon just calling for the elastic slingshot is going to make Fox back off.
Yeah, and Turtle here is off to the races. 4 kills on the Jhin. And he's got enough damage to take down the mid turret as well for FlyQuest, getting the gold pretty much back to even and opening up the map for themselves. Now Balls has caught Looper.
Hello, this laning phase was going a bit different. Deadly Flourish into the curtain call, flash over the wall, and that's Lemon Nation. One more hit for the concussive blows. It's going to be the Glacial Fissure locked down from Balls with that last hit on the passive, and then the kill as well. Having a much better fight phase than laning phase, which I thought would have been in favor of Fox.
Yeah, really good separation there from FlyQuest. Lemon Nation goes down the river to cut off the only escape possible there from Looper, and they end up getting his flash as well. Nails that one with the Glacial Fissure, stuns him up, and another kill here picked off for FlyQuest. Really good resurgence after that invade in the topside jungle to get right back up on their feet.
Small picks across the map, leading into quite a bit here for FlyQuest. Echo Fox's lead dwindling away ever so slowly, now only down to a few hundred gold. Tied up in kills, FlyQuest leads in turrets with 19 seconds on this Drake. It's going to be a good push from Balls to kind of start setting up some vision on the bot side, and they already have that push into the blue side of Fox.
Yeah. Another interaction to think about with Zach here, where we just saw on display where Moon ganked in the mid lane, was that Gate actually intelligently held his Devour, did not use it on Keith, because Gate himself could not get out of Zach's ultimate, and if he had devoured Keith, then he just would have got Keith kidnapped as well back into the team. So At least he didn't bring
Froggin.
Yeah, bring his AD carry down with him. Meanwhile, let's see what FlyQuest can do with this newfound map pressure.
They find Lemonation. He's one of those guys without a Quicksilver Sash in his inventory. Wild Turtle quickly picks one up high on the front line, feeling a bit safer because of that. FlyQuest now working off the ball very well.
They're trying to take this Baron due to FlyQuest starting up the Dragon, but I think that's risky here for Echo Fox.
What's the push? What's the pressure? 50% HP on 2 members is definitely enough to bait him off the Baron for this one, and FlyQuest is getting exactly what they want. Ball's on to Gate.
Looper in the brush.
Trap on a rope. Looper right through the side, cuts through the gut, and he's gonna have the back line. Moon goes down immediately. Gate quickly saving his teammate, but it's not going to be for long enough. And now FlyQuest has to decide, do they fight, do they go? Acadian leaping in. Balls on the bottom side, trying to get away as High goes down. It's Lemonation and Balls left, and Lemon will fall. They give him the squeeze, and that's going to be the ace coming in for Echo Fox.
And it should be the Baron right afterwards here for Echo Fox. What a team fight. Looper lying in that brush. And Moon did not have his passive on Zach for an extra revive after trying to tank the entire team. So they're going to be able to clean up the backline as well and take the Baron. Pretty close, though.
Looper making friends that fight. What an initiation coming in from the side with his teleport up. Fox just completely coming out on top.
All right, we'll take another look here because FlyQuest are able to finish up the Drake before they come. But High and Lemonation have both been chunked down pretty low before this one starts out. And Looper gets a... Actually, there's a ward in this brush.
Yeah.
So they should be seeing him, but he still is able to get a slice and dice right onto Turtle, who is doing so well for FlyQuest right now. He's the bed member. And they get his Quicksilver Sash out early. Gate devours Looper at the very last second, but he still had the dot on him, so he died anyway. And it's Acadian who got that damage onto Turtle, who's going to be able to use his ultimate for the execute. And that's when it all starts to crumble for FlyQuest.
Whew. There you go. Took the words right out of my mouth for the gasp. Looper still making things happen during that replay as he pressured the top side in. Fox being protected, or I should say keep being protected that entire time. You can see the dominance of the AD carries in these fights, but also Acadian on that Rek'Sai putting out some damage as well. 4-1-4 with his Gargoyle Stoneplate now, so he gets to toy with the defenses even. He's getting a lot of money.
Definitely was a huge team fight for Echo Fox, but Moon's going aggressive.
Oh, he pops their heads together, pulls Gate back, and it looks like they're gonna go all on one here. A lot of eggs in one basket for Fly with that initiation, and Fox is kind of able to just dance around it and see what they want next.
And Gate does flash out, but they still have Baron buff, and they're looking to use it to get this mid lane turret. Outer one is pretty difficult to keep standing when you're facing a Baroned up team here, so FlyQuest will do their best, and Moon looking for another initiation from the Raptor pit, possibly.
So that warding we were talking about, Fox has to be aware that the wards have to be in a different spot. Curtain call goes out, there's the eat onto the AD carry, keeping Keith alive. That's where a lot of the damage is coming from. 3 QSSs now on the side of Fly, stopping Froggin from finding his target, but it's Acadian that goes in. Moon almost goes down, his passive is down. He's got to be very careful, so he cannot help the team in the fight. Keith focusing on the turret, focusing on the members, each shot threaded back and forth, and the team is able to take it and continue the pressure down mid.
This Malzahar consistent damage is just intense here with all the Voidlings and the damage over time from him.
There's so much to think about. There's so many things on the plate here for Fly.
All right, Moon looking to go in again.
Once again, rinse and repeat, but how many times can he do it being stretched thin on that one? And it looks like 2 turrets here without any major thing helping. I mean, I guess he got Baron there on Gate, but the fights for Fly just cannot be taken right now.
Man, all these Voidlings coming out from the Malzahar with the the charge system here is really causing problems under the turrets and allowing Echo Fox to keep that pressure up. They got 2 turrets through that mid lane with their Mountain Drake extra damage as well as the Baron buff. FlyQuest, though, fighting valiantly here at the defense. They actually got a root onto Keith previously to this, and then Turtle opens up with his ultimate, but an instant devour from Gate means that Moon gotta walk himself out of this one with very little health, and those Voidlings did most of that damage too high, so he had to back off as well. It was actually pretty lucky for FlyQuest that the arrow does hit Balls right before the dismount, and he's able to get right back out of that one, not stunned up, but Acadian diving in, sacrifices his life in that trade as they gain some more priority down mid.
A fourth QSS. One more for Lemon and we'll be good. But really, the Zach was given up. The Tom Kench was taken. It has fizzled almost every Zach initiation here as Gate takes somebody or saves himself with the hard skin. What do they do this on this next siege here? Baron has fizzled out for them. Gate's more than happy to just kind of take a few shots. You can see his Knight's Vow purchased onto Keith, giving him a little bit more help as well.
All right, Balls is waiting on this control ward, so they don't have any vision of him. Kind of risky here, though.
Ooh! Oh, that's all right.
Dodges all the important ones. Now, Acadian over the back of the wall here, just letting them know that Froggen does have friends around to dissuade them from continuing the chase. Mountains all around, our third and last.
Looks like you need the wards cleared before Moon can really get himself into position. With this pick as well, Moon is kind of going in all willy-nilly. You don't need all the vision on FlyQuest's side to get that fight and bring somebody back in Moon's ultimate. You can kind of do that with a bit of Fog of War. Yeah. But Fox is just reacting very well.
The fight there that Echo Fox won previously in mid lane to grab them that Baron buff is really where this gold lead exploded and gave them so much pressure in this team fight. Now they have a pretty decent lead as they've turned all the gold after those rewards into a lot more combat effectiveness, whereas a lot of FlyQuest gold, as you said, is being turned into Quicksilver sashes. Like Acadian and Gate both had their back stopped without realizing it there. But yeah, so all those Quicksilvers gives you a little bit of magic resist and you can get out of, you know, one or two of the stuns, but difficult for FlyQuest to really keep up with that DPS.
Bloober will finally leave top side. The 1-3-1 slowly pushing from their side means FlyQuest has a little bit of work to do. They're not really looking for a big engage here. Get the vision on the 1-minute Baron and make sure they have everything set up first.
Exactly. FlyQuest right now are kind of licking their wounds after all that craziness that was caused by Echo Fox taking that team fight, taking the Baron, and keeping up that pressure. Right now they just want to stabilize a bit, farm it out, whereas Echo Fox looking to keep that pressure up. They should have Looper continue to split push. His teleport is ready. You know, he's got that extra item here with the stone plate now completed for when he joins the team fight and gets right into the center of things as well.
Nice shoulder wards. Seeing Moon there as they get one to Raptors, one on the right side.
Find all those angles.
Yeah, the main vision cleared over towards blue. Looks like FlyQuest wants that easy path towards Baron if it were to happen. And they've warded up nicely for it here. Back to mid lane, back to the dance.
Yeah, Echo Fox have pretty good answers as far as the FlyQuest initiation, but here goes Moon.
Deadly Flourish locked onto that Phosphorus bomb. Moon's very low. Elimination goes in to try to get the blocks for Moon in. That's Acadian and Gate. All the way through goes High. He gets the double Valkyrie in with the package, and that's going to be the kill onto Froggen as he's
Hurdle!
High is just firing in from the side, trying to keep himself alive, but Acadian finds the ult hit. Gate with the hard skin. Does he use it? Baits in the last shot from Turtle, and he's going to try to turn on him out with the team and only be able to eat him up for a second. FlyQuest, as we said, trying to set this up, do go numbers up, and it looks like they're going to turn to Baron.
Yep, they use Ball's teleport to come in and tank this one up. Acadian very low, risky steal attempt at Turtle. Getting the cover fire down to try and zone him out, but Acadian just walks out of the range.
If I were Turtle, I'd take that fourth shot across the wall and make sure it hits Acadian. It looks like it. He's waiting for it.
He's looking for the vision with his Prey Seeker. 4,000 health on the Baron. Blast Cone is ready as well.
That shot's going to wear off for Turtle. Throws down the captive audience. Oh, he finds it! Acadian gives him the angle. The Baron goes to FlyQuest, and man, they waited long for it.
Oh man, Moon goes down there at the end, even with his smite up, but in the end, FlyQuest are able to take that Baron and get right back into the defense. Baron about recalls. All right, let's take a look at this because there's so many layers to the engagement from FlyQuest. Moon gets out the summoner spells from Froggen first, then gets the kidnap out, and even though Gate gives him with the Devour, High holds his package till the perfect time here, right through the jungle corridor. Balls, bear trap on a rope, stops the teleport, which is key, and Turtle keep getting back to him from the bottom lane. He is able to clean up all of the kills. Gate actually pretty good mind game there.
Yep.
But in the end, there's no way he was going to escape it, so just kind of delaying his death and buying some time. Then it got really dicey here inside the Baron pit. Okay.
The way they like to play it, that's FlyQuest game.
Definitely intense here. Baron number 2 goes over to FlyQuest. Now it's their turn to try and claim some of the money here in the secondary turrets.
And you really needed a step-up performance in this game. High was down 0-3 in that mid lane, and Turtle has taken that upon himself. Hard shell this one.
Exactly. Turtle, pretty much both series this week, has really been stepping up. He talked about how much he enjoyed the current AD carry meta with Jhin back in it, and with the Kalista coming back in as well. Here they go again, though. Ooh, good knock-up.
Nice job by Acadian, really thwarts what Moon was trying to get in. Lemon Nation able to stave off a bit of the damage as they trade back to the turrets. Still falling a bit silent with that Mountain Drake. Silence very quick. The curtain call goes on full cooldown.
Yeah, follow the void there from Frog. An easy answer by Turtle flashing in.
Looking for that last shot. Mayhe got himself in trouble. Moon is on the front line. Everybody's trying to go in. Acadian now on the back. Moon very low. Acadian's gonna go down as Turtle gets himself in the back. Lemonation with the shield on the slice and the dice. Turns Looper into a pair of shoes, and the double kill now coming in from Fox. Can they kite it back with the volley?
Almost
getting balls into a great spot. Needs a few more hits to get Scarrow back. And Turtle's one shot away from also changing the fight with the last bullet.
Balls has flash. He wants to remount with this flash to go in on someone, but Echo Fox are backing off, respecting it. And what a close fight there, as it's a 2-for-1 in the end. Echo Fox, really good counter on that engagement. They knock up the Zac on the way in, so he never gets to set up. And then they turn it around at the very end of this turret. Silence onto Turtle immediately from Froggen to stop that ultimate, and then they have him on the run. Take a look at Turtle's flash forward to try and get Keith, but he's standing right next to the Tahm Kench, and it's a pretty quick devour. Then it's a good ultimate from Lemon Nation to try and make Echo Fox kite through all that slow field, but Acadian's into the backside, onto Turtle, and chasing down FlyQuest. They get the execute, but Ball's never able to remount here. He wanted to flash back in, but Keith is able to get out of there.
Gotta remember when all these QSSs are up, it's really throwing the CC off, and it's throwing Fox off. Turtle got much farther than Acadian thought. He had to put himself deep into that fight. Fox does not want any more dragons, being the Elder Drake now, to go over to FlyQuest. 2-1 in those Drakes.
Yeah, it's getting pretty close here. I mean, as we get further and further into the game too, you have to think about the inventory space that these QSSs are taking up for FlyQuest. Moon goes in again here for, misses Keith.
Acadian very low, tunnels out, Balls goes all the way in. They feel like they can get Acadian as the boost.
Froggen devoured. High goes in.
Froggen safe. Keith's gonna get out to the right side, but he's split from the team. Looper puts himself in the middle so they don't go for Keith. And now Moon's sectioned off from the team. Tries to bring Acadian back in, but they're always hitting the tanks on FlyQuest. And it's Keith on the backside. Slowed down now, and possibly in a bad spot. Quick silver sash from Keith as he gets another grasp in from Froggen. Everybody with a sliver of health. We finally get another one to go down. It's Acadian and Balls that have only fallen. And this might be the chase from FlyQuest.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, Echo Fox. Good lord.
Game with the 4 QSSs and the Devourer from Tahm Kench on the other side means we have multiple people being saved. In the end, FlyQuest are limping out with lower health bars, but they killed the jungler. So if Echo Fox start this, they don't have a smite for it, and they're just working off the vision that they've denied. This is a bit risky. Turtle could go for a steal, but Froggen is trying to cut him off. He's gonna have to switch over to his W. Echo Fox should block the W as well. Oh, they left an opening.
Zoning in. Woo! Whoa. Very, very close. The Deadly Flourish as well to come out after. What a game. Quite a few Baron dances. And now the Elder dance going in favor of Echo Fox in the extended fight. Let's
Definitely
see it
some exciting team fights here. All right, Moon marks himself up here, tries to get the Q onto Keith. but they don't find anything. So it's all about Balls' initiation here with the extra speed. And they do get Froggen, but Gate devours him. Then Keith actually walks his way out. That was so lucky for Keith to get that far out when he had exhaust on him, and the Devour had already been used onto Froggen. Keith actually does a tremendous amount of DPS there, able to kite most of it. Acadian on Rek'Sai tried to go for the execute, but they get him again. Then this big Devour again from Gate with this Tom Kench saves Keith a second time from the re-initiation, and that Tom Kench first round pick is really paying off.
It's been incredible. As we said before, Elimination coming into this week, 4 or 5 straight plays on it after a lot of the Karma, the Zyra, the Lulu Morgana, really not coming into the melee champion meta, but taken away this time. Back onto his Braum, but he's been playing quite a bit, but Gate coming out huge here. They may even be tempted to throw Froggen on the fountain again if they get there anytime soon. 40 minutes, though, as they come up here. That means FlyQuest is still holding on to this match, putting up quite a fight. Quite a back and forth.
Gate is basically like all those 4 QSSs wrapped up into one champion.
Yep.
4 Froggen and 4 Keith. He saved both of them in that very big team fight. Keith also with the speed from Phantom Dancer being very noticeable in that one, able to kite it out. Now the Elder Dragon burn, they're looking to get that 5-on-5 fight and utilize this buff. Echo Fox actually cutting them off from their own minion wave. And they're gonna trade sides.
Decent wave here for FlyQuest on the bot side. Looper will have to pay attention to that with half a teleport up, so.
Even though the duration on that Elder Dragon buff was extended, and it's a bit longer now, there's only like, 25 or so seconds left on the buff currently, so I don't know if it'll be on for the duration of this Baron dance. The vision, though, very important, and FlyQuest aren't walking into it. The pesky ward inside.
Okay, they're gonna start it up. A lot can happen if Fly are able to win this. They have the minions in position to make so much more happen and pick up that gold on the map. Flashes already being blown.
Pretty good poke there from FlyQuest, and some damage from Baron also helping out. They got Froggen's passive off, and the Devour is on cooldown. Turtle's running up the mid lane. FlyQuest do have the minion wave advantage in the mid lane, and they're able to get the turret.
Drops it. Pretty good wave clear with Deadly Flourish, and the rest.
Bottom wave as well as pushing
trying to
for
route
FlyQuest.
the wave possibly as well.
Yeah, FlyQuest
Or they're just waiting.
They have this pressure to themselves. They can get 2 turrets out of it.
Bot's gonna go down. How far away is Looper? They're actually gonna start the fight in the jungle, not on the bottom side of the map. It's gonna be a long run. Easy turn there. Concussive blows is gonna lock him down. The Guardian Angel on him should be able to keep him alive. No, that's just Steric's rage coming out from the Steric's gauge.
Oh, they got
it! Now onto Looper. There's the fight. Now onto Tom Kench. Gate goes down. How will Keith live in the fight? Balls is on him, trying to take him out. He can't keep himself alive. Elimination tries to put up Unbreakable, but will he be broken? It's the kill from Turtle. Moon goes down. Turtle! And it's Froggen turns with the Voidlings. And now it's the fight. A 2v1 as Elimination is turning for the fountain. These extended fights are insane.
It actually is incredibly insane. And all of Malzahar's persistent damage of the Voidling sitting on the ground, the AoE just bouncing back and forth, goes unnoticed here. This is pretty risky. Acadian's very low here. This is not the tank Rek'Sai of old, and Lemonation took it upon himself to stop it.
Fight him!
Oh, he's got the slows.
Oh, it looks so much. Percent damage from Qs can be deceiving.
They might get an inhibitor turret out of this. He's trying to stop the backs right now. Lemonation is stopping the backs, and he might earn them that bottom inhibitor turret. The minions almost killed it off. It's got like 2 hits.
Oh, he's working the Windians very well, and we talked about it before a little bit. These extended fights, the little bit of fervor, the big tanks, the ability to protect. Let's see it again.
All right, so FlyQuest initially get onto Rek'Sai, but a Devour from Gate gets Acadian out. At the same time, Looper initiates from the other side, but Moon is able to use his ultimate to get right back onto the correct side of the fight and then re-engage onto the front line. High takes down Looper eventually, and they also get the execute onto Gate, so you think this is FlyQuest team fight to win, but Froggen stands tall here on the Malzahar on the backside. You can see 5 Voidlings he had procced. They're able to take out Moon. They're also able to take out Turtle there, and it's the Swarm of the Void that in the end wins it, as Keith himself is astonished.
Just minions bluffing around, tongues out. Another fight, Moon on the back towards 3. Balls trying to lock one up. We've already lost Lemon Nation in the fight. Glacial Fisher was used, so he did it.
Keith on the front.
Good before he went down. Keith soloing out high, if that's what you'll call it, on the back line. Moon now gets taken out. Acadian is just tearing people to shreds on the Queen. And now they're going to be heading in. Balls is going to go down. Acadian through the base gate. And Turtle is looking at death here as Looper stares him straight in the eyes. The Quicksilver Sash gets him to safety, but they need the minions first.
Action-packed here, Riv. Didn't even get to see the beginning as FlyQuest charged through. Echo Fox charged through the jungle of FlyQuest to get 4 more kills, and now they can get an inhibitor.
This is the thing, Kobe. Froggen's ult is a 48-second cooldown, 90 seconds for these Quicksilver Sashes, plus the other crowd control. That's almost a 40-second window to continuously work with. If Echo Fox keeps pulling the trigger, FlyQuest doesn't have these resources.
Meanwhile, the cooldown on Devour, 8 seconds.
Exactly.
And Gate continually saving his carries, repositioning them. FlyQuest are almost back up to make this defense, but Echo Fox are pushing.
Lemon Nation putting as much defense on that turret as he can, and it is enough to find another base defense. But however, they may be pulled all the way out of base to this Baron. It's just been pinged by FlyQuest. 1
inhibitor down now for FlyQuest, and they will constantly have that pressure in the mid lane. Baron drawing them to the other side, but they still have wards in it, so they should know that it's another bait attempt.
The hit, high, very, very low. Still Malefic Vision's burning him down. The minions are hitting as he tries to heal up just a little bit. Looper very low for the fight, and that's the guy that needs to be able to save the back line. Keith coming in low. Keith is actually up there with Looper. They may say we don't want most of this fight. Play for protection. Acadian gonna get looped back there. They do take him out.
Turtle!
Do FlyQuest play this? Froggen gonna get the passive up, so he's at least got 1 shot to take.
Dodges them all.
Quite fancy feat throughout the game, and Fox do call the audible. They say pull back, we'll come back for Baron.
Okay, death timers are so long right now that FlyQuest do have a power play here for the next 20 seconds. Gate, when he comes back up, does have the Tom Kench ultimate, so you have to worry about that extra range, but FlyQuest are going to go for it. Another back and forth here. They're going to burn this Baron down. They too have a Mountain Drake, and it's going to be another Baron buff changing over.
What a call. I love seeing these calls be made. Obviously, they can throw a few at it, but the loss is such a bigger cost, so they decide to back up and fight another day. Here's this fight,
this fight. I'm trying to remember which one this was at the point. We've had constant fighting here in the late game, so action-packed. Anyways, we get to see, again, the Quicksilver Sash from Moon, getting him back out. Keith was on the front line to be able to get the extra kills here, and this is the initial fight that got Echo Fox the positioning to try and bait Baron the second time. So this is the fight that led up to the fight where FlyQuest were able to get those kills and turn around on Baron. Whew. Turtle has upgraded, by the way, his QSS, so that is Mercurial right now. And everybody is starting to max out on those items. The gold difference, pretty negligible at this moment. The only real factor is that these extra QSSs here on Balls, Moon, and High are taking up this space, and attack damage is not the primary stat you want on your Zac. Other than that, the other two feel fine about upgrading it to Mercurial, but let's see if they can do it. Baron buff, I believe this is number 3 of the game. Number 2 for FlyQuest, they rooted it!
Froggen getting back, he's got the blue buff so he can still spit out the damage. Great Glacial Fisher across every member of Fox, slowing them down, but there's no follow-up from FlyQuest. They just want the turret. They're gonna back off. Remember how low that bottom turret is as well with the map objective 3. They almost play any lane. Very touch and go in each one of these fights. Anybody's engaged could mean the entire fight here. A lot of vision placed by FlyQuest. We're talking about inventories being full. That's going to mean lack of vision here for a lot of members if you don't have room for those pink wards, and everybody's starting to run sweepers.
What an action-packed series. Game means so much for both of these teams. FlyQuest are trying to mount their comeback from the bottom of the standings this week. You know, coming off their series victory yesterday, they want to keep their momentum rolling, and
it's feeling like they're finding somewhat of a stride lead.
Would definitely do so much for their morale to have a 2-0 week for themselves, but Echo Fox not gonna let them have it easy. Gate constantly saving those carries. Keith actually a huge DPS coming out from him in these team fights, kiting very well on his Ashe, which they actually gave him so much practice on for the last several months. And it's gonna come down to this.
He's
the last stand.
Stun bot mode.
Couple of hits left on the inhibitors, but Gate, where did he go? Back to defense.
Fox just recently breaking the base. FlyQuest has a
Oh, they're chasing him down.
Hit in from Acadian, Wild Turtle's low. Flash is out. He's still gonna go in with the ultimate as Fly tries to separate the team with the package. Great fight for FlyQuest here as they can pinch in, but look who's on the back line. Looper's ready to scoop up the entire team of FlyQuest, but he gets focused immediately, slices and dices and helps Keith. Caught the entire team down. 60+ seconds on these death timers, and Fox is looking for a possible win.
Oh, they were able to engage during the split decision there. FlyQuest now are on the run. Gate doesn't want to let Turtle get back for the defense. They're going to run for the Nexus while he stops the backs.
Should have hit Elder, threw him back into Elder Drake.
Well, he's going to keep him out of the base, and now...
A Baron dump balls, however, on the bot side. He's going to meet Acadian. Gate again going to get 2 servings.
But they have to defend their Nexus, though. Balls needs a rebound to kill Acadian.
This is not going to be good. The Nexus getting... Oh, that's the inhibitor spawn. They got to turn around to hit the inhibitor. It's only the delay. 27 seconds on Elimination, 30 now on Moon.
Somebody has to get back.
It's going down.
It's over.
It's not going to be enough. Game 1. Burning down all barns. Fox takes down FlyQuest.
Holy moly. Take a moment.
Many moments. Whoa. What a game. Mentally taxing as well. These players consistently going at each other, testing their limits. And you can see, even exhausted after a win. Usually a team is, all right, we got that. Let's go chat about what even can we improve on the win. Great job. Obviously smiles, but reluctant, you could say in a way.
Whew. Definitely an intense opener to the series. And this is definitely going to be a long one here from Echo Fox and FlyQuest. Those team fights were so incredibly fun to watch with the amount of QSSs and the Devour coming through constantly for Echo Fox. In the end, what made the difference is the split decision there from FlyQuest. They didn't back off and respect the Ash Arrow engage enough with their 3 members while they sent 2 members to take up the Elder Dragon, and FlyQuest were immediately punished there by Echo Fox. They attack them while they're split, and they're able to gain enough health bar advantage in the team fight. So even though the other 2 members are eventually able to join the fight and defend them, Echo Fox had too much of a lead in the cooldowns, in the health bars, and once those QSSs were down, Flank from Looper was able to buy enough time for the carries on Echo Fox to melt down FlyQuest.
It's so relentless as well. You see, you're like, all right, the arrow missed Acadian, or missed Wild Turtle. He flashed out of the way. Oh, he uses QSS. That's fine. But here comes Acadian as well. 3 attempts just to get that AD carry protected, and you actually didn't have the Tom Kench this time. You only had the Unbreakable, and you can walk right past Braum.
Whew, all right.
Becomes difficult. To give us their thoughts on that Game 1 win, let's check in with Dash and our analysts.
Thank you very much, Riv. Crazy back and forth game between FlyQuest and Echo Fox. I mean, it's kind of, I wish I could say I was surprised by how chaotic it was and the fact that it did kind of devolve into a mess until eventually one team wins that late game team fight and has long enough death timers to push down.
Yeah, it was 23 minutes when they got their first Baron, and you and I looked at each other and we're like, I can't wait to see how they throw this one, because this game is not going to end in time.
But that's the thing, right? We talk about Echo Fox as one of those teams at the beginning of the day, Jat. You said this is one of the teams that I feel has at least established one method of victory, you know, of winning.
And they did win.
And they did win.
They hit the delete button.
And they did win. But as the fights were so chaotic, because we were commenting about this within the game itself, just watching those full 5-mans, they're very, very tough to see everything that's going on. We're going to take another look here at the final fight just to see if we can glean a little bit more from it.
These fights do look a little goofy because there's so many gargoyle stone plates, and that also reduces the damage you deal. So everyone basically hits their stone plate, they're in a big ball. This was very good for Echo Fox, though, because they have the Hurricane Ash and the Malzahar in close quarters, so they actually just got to kill kind of everyone at once, and FlyQuest would need to flank a little bit more if they want to find success in a final fight like that. But we had this great segment planned out that had the early game advantages, transitioning to objectives, and that got thrown right out the window because there were 7 of those fights that we just saw right at the end.
At least, at a bare minimum. So now let's talk about how we got there, because as was mentioned, none of us believe it should have even gotten to that stage of the game, right? Echo Fox had all the tools to win this based on the lead that they had built and that early Baron that they picked up. So let's take a look at this 23-minute fight, the one that gets them the Baron and puts them so far ahead.
This has a massive red flag, though, if you're an Echo Fox fan, because you're looking at this and they're teleporting into a Baron. They have not started. FlyQuest knows they're not there, and they just got a Dragon for free. FlyQuest can back out here, but for some reason they push forward into the river. They still disengage. you know, Lemonation and High are below half health, and they still forced this fight. They still Kled ultimate onto Echo Fox when they could have just backed away here and gotten an advantage in the situation. And yes, Echo Fox plays this fight out decently from here. They are able to focus down the front line with Keith and Froggen using that suppression, and then they turn and chase through the rest of the fight with at the end of this. But it's a situation where this fight only went in Echo Fox's favor because FlyQuest took it, not because Echo Fox prepared the map well, forced them to walk into them. None of this needed to happen.
Yeah, and Malzahar does want you to run into Malzahar. That's one of the best ways that kit works. And when we were talking about the start of the day where we're saying Echo Fox has these strengths, that's why siege comps seem so good for them, because they are good in team fight situations once the fight has started, but they're very good, they're very poor at manipulating the conditions with which a fight should happen. And we got to see at this game where FlyQuest did kind of throw themselves at them a few times, and that was to Echo Fox's benefit.
31 minutes into the game, FlyQuest got a 3-for-1 plus the Baron themselves. This was their first opportunity to get back into the game here off of a jungle team fight. Froggen getting caught out a bit.
Yeah, he was just leading the charge into this jungle, gets his spell shield popped off very early in his passive, and then kind of gets bounced around for a lot of this fight before kind of going down early on. And it's a tough spot to be in, as we see the teleport from Looper gets canceled.
Interrupted.
And it results in this
So
4v4.
dramatic.
High went over the wall, barely able to finish off Keith as well, and then both carries are down. Hard to win from here.
Yeah, run gate. Oh, okay. He's got a lot of thick skin.
Wild Turtles, Jin did as much work as he possibly could to try and win this game for his team, and almost got away with it. But it was, again, that late game team fight that goes in favor of Echo Fox. But seriously.
Look at the damage.
Man. But I mean, just look at 25 minutes. You've got a 7.5K gold lead, and then you can see how tumultuous a ride it was from that point onward. But you essentially got a 7K gold lead in the span of a minute and a half.
And the thing is, if you look at
Froggen's bar is like more than halfway across the screen.
He's coming onto their territory.
Yeah, exactly.
I want your damage too. The thing is, if you look at this game's numbers, you're like, wow, Froggen had a great game. I think he was 8-3-17 or something. 8 KDA, tons of damage dealt, but it's one of those situations where stats can lie in League. And this is not a good game out of Echo Fox. Froggen actually had a really bad laning phase that set his team behind. And even though he played some of these team fights out well, you saw in that replay, he also got caught out. And so while the stats look phenomenal for Froggen, it's actually a relatively bad game out of him this split.
And that's where player of the game will be going over to Gate, because that Tom Kench pick is part of what allowed that score line to look so good, right? If I can, eat my ADC and my mid laner out of danger constantly, then yes, I'm going to save their score lines, and make them look a lot prettier at the end of the game.
He also did some pretty clutch things, like right down the stretch where he just chased around Wild Turtle for 20 seconds to allow them to push the Nexus and kind of end the game. I think you could have ended up giving player of the game to a lot of different people on Echo Fox this game, only because if you look at damage or just raw stats, Froggen's going to perform there. But if you're using kind of the eye test of who was doing the most work, Froggen was just getting that because the fights were messy and because he was on Malzahar. So
damage just kind of occurs for Malzahar if you're in a full 5v5.
Percent health damage with 3 tanks popping Gargoyle Stoneplate. Yeah, you're going to do a pretty good chunk of damage.
Yeah, I will say I was actually to some degree impressed by Keith. I mean, we noticed again that it didn't look like he was doing a lot of damage because he's having to fire into 3 Gargoyle Stoneplates, but actually in the majority of the team fights, he was positioning fairly well, and it was Froggen who was the one who was needing to be saved in more cases than not. But that's just game one. Echo Fox still has to put together another win, and we want to see them do it in cleaner fashion if they are going to make a case for themselves moving into that top half of the bracket. Now we're going to step away for a quick break. When we come back, it's game 2 between Echo Fox and FlyQuest. The series continues after this break.
It's going to have to be Balls as well, bringing in the cavalry from the backside. Him and Scarl on the front line, giving it to Fox right now. And it's going to be the shots from Turtle just on the outside of the curtain. Exit stage right. Now FlyQuest has to decide, do they fight, do they go? Acadian leaping in. Balls on the bottom side, trying to get away as High goes down. It's Lemon Nation and Balls left, and Lemon will fall. They give him the squeeze, and that's going to be the ace coming in for Echo Fox. All the way through goes High. He gets the double Valkyrie in with the package, and that's going to be the kill onto Froggen as he's hurdle. High is just firing in from the side, trying to keep himself alive, but Acadian finds the ult hit. This is on him, trying to take him out. He can't keep himself alive. Lemon Nation tries to put up Unbreakable, but will he be broken? It's the kill from Turtle. Moon goes down. Turtle! And it's Froggen turns with the Voidlings. But look who's on the back line. Looper's ready to scoop up the entire team of FlyQuest, but he gets focused immediately. Slices and dices and helps Keith cut the entire team down.